who have mentioned this issue to me during their conversations, and so I know it's a real problem, and I have some personal experience of this as well, unfortunately. But, your insurance company or your good insurance company will pay or arrange for the repairs to the building damage caused, during the offender's entry and exit to and from your home, and they'll pay or replace for the stolen items, but they can't do anything about how you might feel after the break-ins happened. And so really the message here is try to avoid having your home broken into. Do everything you can and to avoid this experience, because it is an unpleasant experience. I do know from personal experience when quite a few years ago now, our home was broken into while the family were out, and we had a weakness in our security at that time. There was an extension being added onto the property, and because it wasn't quite completed, and our security on those new doors that just wasn't up to the same scratch as the rest of the building, and someone had taken advantage of this and broken in. And we lost jewellery and a number of other electrical items, as it was in those days.
Yes.
And we had those things replaced, but for quite a long time afterwards, when we went out, as we came back towards home, I always got this anxious feeling about wondering whether I was going to find that the home had been broken into again. And it took quite a long time for that feeling to just go away, and we just approach home normally now and don't think about it. But it took a long time for that feeling to fade, and for some people it's a really traumatic experience. And as we spoke earlier with those people that might have come home to find someone actually in their home, that would be a really
that would be scary,
strong experience that you'd live with for some time, I think. So remember, if you can make your home security stronger by doing all the things that you can and activate them all. Remember, that's the key. Remember to have everything activated when you leave home. And if you've got an alarm, certainly activate it. But if you've got door and window locks, make sure that they are all locked, because if you make your home difficult to get into, the burglars usually decide that it's going to take too long or make too much noise, and they go somewhere else. So, please remember to do that, because if you can avoid all of those problems, that's the best thing you can do.
Yes.
And finally, just a couple of tips in case you do suffer a break-in, or something to kind of think about in case that does happen to you one day. Follow the advice and instructions of your insurer. When you ring your insurer, they'll give you guidelines and fairly clear instructions on what you should be doing in terms of what to do about replacement items, what to do about the repairs to the building, and so forth. Some people ignore those instructions and go off and do all sorts of other things, and can sometimes end in a result that complicates the settlement, and they have issues with their insurer because they've done something that the insurer simply doesn't want them to do. So if you get advice from your insurer, or seek advice from your insurer, try and follow it, because that makes for a smoother run. And one thing that often is lost during a burglary is numerous items of jewellery, often small items, maybe dress rings like opal rings, and bracelets and necklets and all the things that ladies acquire over a period of time. With those things being stolen, an insurance company will generally say, go to a jeweller and you've got so much money to spend to replace it. Now, here's a good tip for you, ladies. Don't replace each one of those individual items necessarily. Try and bulk them up into one or two items of higher value, and you can wear them. And then if a burglar breaks in again, they won't be home. You'll have them on you. And
makes good sense.
Yeah, and so And those items also will probably tend to hold or gain their value because, they'll be a diamond ring, which will be over time worth a lot more money than a whole lot of smaller bangles, bracelets
Good point.
and trinkets as well. So you'll have that benefit as well. So there you go, Pete.
That's excellent, timely advice. And I was just thinking while you were talking about the aftermath of a burglary, I lived in a third floor apartment that was broken into, and they came in over the balcony, 3 floors up. They didn't come in. I had an adjoining balcony. They didn't break in through that unit, and they came up 3 floors, and I believe they probably posed as telecom technicians or the like, because they would have had to put up an extension ladder on the side of the building, which is obvious to anyone. They came in over the balcony, and when I came through that double deadlocked door that night to find stuff scattered all over the floor, I couldn't believe it that somebody had managed to get up there.
It's a very determined effort.
Oh, it was enormous. They didn't get away with much. I didn't have much of value there, and obviously they weren't going to take big items like stereos or TVs, not down
from
a
up
ladder.
there.
They were after little stuff, and they got away with a few little valuables. But it was that feeling of having my privacy invaded and somebody I didn't know touching my stuff.
That's exactly
And
the
the whole
feeling.
place felt dirty for quite some time after that.
Very much so.
Really, it's an awful feeling. So, folks,